My name is Wally Triplett, and this is my Penn State football story. And we were fortunate in that we were able to live in a community that was unique in that it was an integrated community, suburban Philadelphia. But we were the people who serviced the big estates. And so the mistake that was made very often when we gave our address was that people who didn't see us thought that we were white. I was asked by the University of Miami, because of where we lived, they wanted to give a scholarship. And they wrote me, and then I immediately wrote them back. And when I wrote them back, explaining it, they wrote an apologetic letter. Now, the odd part about that was right after that, I went to Penn State, and on the 1946 schedule was the University of Miami. So the question then came up, well, what are we going to do about this up at Penn State? The trend was throughout the National Collegiate Athletics that it was agreement that where situations like that arose, the school with the black players would not play them against the Southern teams. And so when this question came up, the fellas immediately said, we're going to play all or we're going to play none. So Miami and Penn State canceled that game because it couldn't be. Right after we had the West Virginia game is when the voting came up, and I can remember Steve Suey saying at the completion of our winning that when he was challenged, when he said, now that we've won, are we going to have these meetings about what to do? And at the time, Steve Suey said simply, we're Penn State. There'll be no meetings. And I said I learned later on that phrase, we're Penn State, turned into we are Penn State. And it was years later that I'm talking to who's a friend of ours, and at that time, that simple phrase had been turned into a cheer, and had also been developed into almost idolic, as you would say, because they had the banners and everything about we are Penn State. I said, but I'll never forget the simple way in which Steve Suey phrased it. Are we going to have these meetings again? And he said, we're Penn State. There'll be no meetings. And that was it.